Okay, are your vehicles covered in the green and yellow stuff like mine? I bet Allergy sufferers like me are noticing that it's creeping up everywhere, which means, yes, allergy season is creeping up too. So to share some ways to help get us through this time of the year, we are happy to welcome back Dr. Mariah Pate from Tampa Bay Breathe Free Sinus and Allergy Centers. The person I need to see this time of year. How are you, Dr.
I'm good,
Pate?
thank you.
You even said it's a little early, it feels.
It is, it is. I don't know, the weather's been so weird this year, but yes, it's already here. I can't believe it's already here.
And for people like myself, allergy sufferers, we dread this time of year. I know going outside, I feel miserable. And then you think of people like the Gasparilla Distance Classic. That's right around the corner. Does exercising outside this time of year, I mean, are there other implications that people need to consider?
Right, so of course when the pollen is out and about, when you're breathing in that pollen when you're running or exercising, it can be an irritant, whether or not you have allergies or not. And it can cause runny nose, congestion, and for a lot of people it can cause like systemic symptoms. So a lot of runners and people that are preparing for the big run are needing to be aware of the allergy counts and making sure they're taking care of their nose and rinsing it out after they run and doing things like that to help prevent that reaction.
Well, and you know what, let's talk about the reaction, because I feel like sometimes I talk to people and they're like, oh, I don't have allergies. Oh yeah, but I have this constant headache. Talk a little bit about the symptoms. Are people, if they've never had allergies in the past, can they still be affected by pollen? What are some of those things we need to know?
Right, so like I mentioned, even if you don't have allergies, you can have non-allergic rhinitis. And so people will present with that runny nose, congestion, headaches, like you mentioned, facial pressure, and that can be really disruptive because the headaches and the pressure, it can cause like brain fog and fatigue for people. And so if you're having these symptoms after outdoors, like I said, rinsing your nose out with saline can be really helpful. But a lot of times it's a chronic problem, and over time when you're exposed, if you have nasal congestion or nasal obstruction, it can get worse, lead to sinus infections and chronic sinus symptoms where you're having these symptoms all the time.
And thinking about exercising outside and stuff, you're like, okay, just try to like keep your mouth closed or try to breathe out of your nose. That's really hard for me, to be perfectly honest. I mean, is that like a regular thing that you see? And let's talk about treatments. Is that something that you can help people like myself who dread this time of year?
Yeah, so nasal breathing is so important. Obviously, there are things that can swell in the nose and the sinuses can swell so you can't breathe as well. And nasal breathing is key to exercise because it helps you regulate your breathing. It helps with oxygen production. Obviously, it filters everything out, humidifies the air. It also produces nitric oxide, and that's really important for athletes because it helps the blood vessels dilate, and so the blood gets to the brain, the heart, the muscles a lot better, and so they're able to recover quickly and also have a lot of endurance. And so there are a lot of options. A lot of times it's like a physical obstruction in the nose. Obviously, if it swells to the allergies, that can be episodic, but sometimes people have enlarged turbinates, their septum is deviated, their sinuses are blocked, and so that is like a physical problem.
Yeah.
And so medicines can only do so much. You can take nasal sprays, allergy medicines, but it's only a temporary fix.
Yeah.
So in my office, I offer certain procedures that are less invasive that can actually open up the nasal cavity so people, especially athletes, can breathe better.
Okay, what? If you want to learn more about those non-invasive treatments, how she can help, especially again this time of year, to see if it's a chronic problem or something just with allergies, you know what, Dr. Pate, she can take care of you. Go ahead and reach out, TampaBayBreatheFree.com.